Yesterday, we shared footage of Starmer being forced to abandon his promotional event for his new housing policy as furious farmers disrupted the scene, demanding he address them after his appalling tax grab on agriculture. Today, we'll be examining his response, where not only does he react to the backlash, but he also shamelessly misleads the British public with a blatant falsehood. Before we dive in, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel for more UK-focused content. In response to the backlash, Starmer gave an interview where he attempted to justify his actions, only to twist the narrative and gaslight the public with a misleading question. Take a look at this. First was to stabilize and balance the book's economy, and the second was to invest in things like our NHS and housing, and we're seeing some early figures that are welcome. Obviously, interest rates were cut for the third time since we've been in government last week. We've had growth figures today coming out showing growth in the economy, small but important steps. And of course, that means that mortgages will go down, and also NHS figures that show that waiting lists are now down to the lowest level for 2 years in the 6 or 7 months that we've had to work on that. That is a really welcome first set of steps. We need to go much further, but in order to balance the books, we had to take tough but right decisions on national insurance contributions and ending the tax break for farmers. These are political choices, but what you can't have is interest rates coming down, the growth we need in the economy, your waiting lists coming down and still maintain the tax break for farmers. People watching this will understand that this is a choice. They will know what they would rather have. Do they want shorter NHS waiting times, lower mortgage rates, an economy that works for everyone? That's what we're aiming for. Or do they want to keep tax breaks for farmers? We can't have both, so we've made a political decision. What do you think? Let us know in the comments. People weren't exactly thrilled by this and had plenty to say in response. Michael commented, "There you have it, folks. The only thing standing between us and a perfect society was farmers passing their land to their children instead of the state taking a cut." Another user chimed in, "What a ridiculous statement from Starmer, trying to lump two completely separate issues together. He's talking utter bollocks." Lisa added, "Actually, they could have both. If Labour scrapped the absurd net zero agenda, it would free up billions, and everyone could get a tax break." Someone else pointed out, "So after all the millions he and his government have thrown at foreign nations for things that do nothing for us, all the cash being funneled into illegal migrants, the only place he thinks he can cut money from is the British public. He couldn't sink any lower if he tried." Mike remarked, "Funny, I don't recall Starmer asking if we'd prefer shorter NHS waiting times or train drivers getting an inflation-busting pay rise." Sarah weighed in. "He's lying. It's not a tax break. It's a brand new tax on farmers' land and homes, the very people who put food on our tables. Most of them are only earning around £23,000 a year, so they'll have no choice but to raise prices, meaning the public will be footing the bill for higher food costs. What do you think? Drop your thoughts in the comments below." In other news, a Ghanaian tourist has won the right to remain in Britain, even though she never attended her own wedding. Francisca Boateng, 42, secured her immigration appeal by arguing that her proxy marriage to a German citizen living in the UK lasted long enough to qualify her for residency. Boateng first met Fatou Swalahou, a German national, while visiting Britain in August 2018. After returning to Ghana and divorcing her husband on Christmas Eve 2018, she arranged a proxy marriage in Kumasi on New Year's Eve. Neither she nor Swalahou was present, though their families reportedly exchanged gifts. The couple later held a civil wedding on 21st January 2019, when Swalahou flew to Ghana. However, the marriage fell apart within 15 months, with divorce proceedings starting in January 2022. Despite this, because the proxy wedding technically counted as the start of their marriage, Boateng qualified for UK residency under the EU settlement scheme. This was possible due to her German husband's settled status, which allowed her to claim the same residency rights. The Home Office challenged the legitimacy of the proxy wedding, highlighting issues with blurry, superimposed dates on photos and a disorganized bundle of documents submitted by Boateng's ex-husband. The case has reignited criticism of the immigration tribunal system, following a series of controversial rulings. Despite the Home Office's objections, Judge Joseph Neville ruled in favour of Boateng, stating that she had met the burden of proof. I find it to be more likely than not that a customary marriage did take place on December 31st, 2018, as claimed by him, and that it was a valid marriage under Ghanaian law, he said. Shadow. Home. Secretary Chris Philp was unimpressed, arguing that recognising proxy marriages in such cases seems to contradict any notion of common sense. He criticised the courts for wrongly adopting ever wider definitions that allow people without deep connections here and who have not made a meaningful contribution to the UK to stay here permanently. He added that a new common sense approach was being developed. The case also became a key topic at Prime Minister's questions, with Starmer shifting focus to a separate tribunal ruling concerning Palestinian refugees. Meanwhile, immigration appeals continue to pile up, with a staggering 34,169 cases currently unresolved, most of them based on human rights claims. Conservative leader Kemi Badenoch weighed in, arguing that cases like this highlight the urgent need for sweeping reforms to human rights laws. A Home Office spokesperson stated, "While we do not routinely comment on individual cases, as the tribunal decision clearly indicates, we contested this case twice and will always seek to uphold our immigration rules." What do you make of today's discussion? Share your views in the comments. If you haven't already, be sure to like this video and subscribe to the channel for more UK-focused content. Thanks for watching. Take care and goodbye.